But of course it did for many mean death, it did mean execution, and of course many were hung, drawn and quartered. The Jacobites could be anybody, from the highest echelons of society, from the overthrown King James and his family, obviously including Bonnie Prince Charlie, perhaps most famously, down to average people in the street. You were on one side or the other. You were Jacobite or Hanoverian. Families were split between the two. To support the Jacobites was to support a monarchy and a family who were not the king, they were not the queen, they were not the agreed royal family. So it was treason. This is really putting your feelings, your beliefs and your neck on the block. There were various penalties for being a Jacobite supporter, and of course it depended very much on how active you were in the uprising or the rebellion, depending what term you wish to use. But of course it did for many mean death, it did mean execution, and of course many were hung, drawn and quartered. Showing your support for the Jacobites is a very difficult thing to do. There are very overt displays such as portraiture, which does always seem remarkable, was hanging on open display in people's homes as such a poster of your support. There'd be more hidden ways of showing your support as well, where people would show it through symbolism. This would be sort of hidden in plain sight in the art and the architecture of the day. This could be simple mottos, this could be emblems, or this could be anything that would show the support and be obvious to a fellow Jacobite, but remain hidden from a Hanoverian supporter. So medallions were a very popular way for the Stuart cause to remind people of their story and of their right. This example dates from 1688 and struck in silver, and shows the birth of Prince James, who would latterly be King James, really showcasing and cementing the fact there is a royal lineage within the Stuart family. This medallion struck in silver was struck in 1788 to commemorate the death of Prince Charles Edward Stuart, who latterly been King Charles III in the eyes of the Jacobites, and features Henry Benedict, Cardinal Duke of York, who was Charles's brother, who would now be the rightful heir to the Stuart throne. This glass is a wonderful example of Jacobite symbolism. There's lots going on here. If you want to be terribly romantic, and not everyone would agree with this one, this air bubble in the stem is the tears of the Jacobites because their cause hasn't been fulfilled. That's perhaps a little bit romantic, however. But what generally agreed is this large rose here represents King James. This open bud represents Prince Charles, as he will flourish into the flowering rose and latterly the king when his father passes away, as would be his birthright. And the closed bud would be his brother Henry Benedict, who's Cardinal Duke of York. But also we have on the foot here the Prince of Wales feathers. So this really is showing a support for Prince Charles and his cause. He was the man on the ground. He was the one pushing this forward day to day with the invasion and the rebellion. So the Jacobite cause didn't end with the defeat at Culloden in 1746. There was still support much later into the 18th century, and then revivals and interest in the 19th century. Not with the view that the Jacobites would regain the throne, but more a historical romanticism. And this glass comes from that later period, much larger, probably for communal drinking at a Jacobite club, more often gentlemen's clubs that were a bit of an excuse for a bit of frivolity and alcohol and a good time. What's particularly interesting is you've got lots of Jacobite symbols you would expect to see: thistles, roses, oak leaves and star on the back. But this emblem here is particularly unusual. This is showing a glass being toasted over the water. This was to say that you were toasting the rightful king. So if in a Jacobite setting and it was treacherous to show your support, to toast to you, you'd toast the king, as would be standard at the time, but you would put your glass over the water, signifying who your true king was, James or Charles on the other side of the channel.